welcome to the Parents Math Tutor.
If you already watched my word problems video just for parents, then you have the tools you need to help your children with word problems at home. But this video is just for your child. Sit them down in front of the computer and I will solve some multi-step word problems with them. Hi friends. Okay, here's our first example of the day. This is a multi-step word problem. So to do this with me, I would like you to get a pencil and paper out, or you can get a whiteboard and a marker if you have one of those. I'm going to read this problem 2 times. The first time I read it, I want you to try to imagine in your mind what's going on. Make a little movie in your mind of the story. That's called visualizing the story. Some people even draw a little picture to help them visualize the story. So if that helps you, you can draw a little picture of the characters in this story to try to see if you can figure out what's being put together or joined, or what's being taken away or separated. Now, I will tell you that multi-step word problems have a couple of different ways that you can solve them. I will show you one way, but I will definitely talk about the other way as well. So when you're solving, if you're doing something a little different than me, that might be okay. Keep going and let's see if we come to the same final answer together. All right, the first time I read this story, I want you to just picture what's going on. I don't want you to try to solve anything. It says, Miss Burt had 93 prizes to give away in class. She gave 35 to Zach and some to Gemma. She kept 46 for herself. How many did she give to Gemma? Okay, so in your mind, you might have seen a teacher, Mrs. Burt. And Mrs. Burt has some prizes to give away. So it says she has 93 to give away. And then she's got 2 students. She's got Zach and she's got Gemma. And she gave some to both kids. She gave 35 to Zach. And we don't know how many she gave to Gemma. And then it said she kept some for herself. So there's some left in the bucket, and that's 46. Okay, so here's my movie in my mind. I know it's just a really quick sketch and it's not a good drawing, but it kind of shows you what's happening in the problem. She's starting with a certain number. She's giving some things away. She's keeping some things. There's a lot going on in this problem because it is multi-step. Okay, now I'm going to read the problem again. And after I read it the second time, we're going to see if we can fill in a strip diagram for this problem. A strip diagram is a graphic organizer you can use to organize your thoughts, where you write the total number on the top and you write the parts that are included in the problem on the bottom. So here we go. I'm going to read it again. Miss Burt had 93 prizes to give away in class. She gave 35 to Zach and some to Gemma. She kept 46 for herself. How many did she give to Gemma? We have to figure out how many parts are in this problem and if we know the whole. The whole is the total, and the total amount that she had was 93 at the beginning. In my little visualization, she had a tub full of prizes. So my total is 93. My whole is 93. So I do know that. And then we have to figure out the parts. And if you look at my visualization, you can see the parts. I have the part she kept for herself. I have the part she gave to Zach. And I have the part she gave to Gemma. So there's 3 parts in this problem. Zach, Gemma, and Miss B. Okay, Zach got 35. We don't know how many Gemma got. That's what we're trying to find out. How many did she give to Gemma? And she kept 46 for herself. All right. There are a couple of different ways that you can do this problem. The way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to put the parts I know together to come up with one number, and I'll put that number right here when we solve it. And then I can separate that number from the whole to figure out what's left over. So that's what I'm going to do. Another way of doing this is that you could start with 93 and you could take away 35 and then you could take away 46 to find out what's left over. And that way you're doing 2 subtraction problems. The way I'm gonna do it, we're just gonna do 1 subtraction problem. I've been a teacher for a really long time, and I know that subtraction can be kind of tricky. And the little tiny mistakes that kids make happen the most on subtraction problems. So instead of doing 2 subtraction problems, I'm gonna do 1 addition problem where I put 35 and 46 together, and then I'll do the subtraction. So I'm going to give myself 2 little spaces for the work, and I would like you to do the work with me, please. We're going to add 35 and 46. And the way that I do this is I use expanded form. So I'm going to write the expanded form for 35, which is 30 plus 5. And I'm putting it together with the other part I know, which is 46. 40 plus 6. Okay, you're always going to start in the ones place. So 5 plus 6 equals 11. I know there's a 10 there, but we'll regroup it in just a second. So now 30 plus 40 equals 70. I need to move this 10 to be over with the 70. 70 plus 10 equals 80. And then I have 1 left over. Okay? Now, some kids get really excited because they're like, oh, I got an answer. And so they want to call that their final answer. But she did not give Gemma 81 prizes. That's how much she gave to Zach and she kept for herself put together. So the 2 parts I know together equal 81. So now I need to separate 81 away from 93 to figure out how many is left over, how many she gave to Gemma. So I'm going to take 93 the same way that I did 35 and 46 a minute ago. It's 90 plus 3. So I'm going to take 93 the same way I did with 35 and 46 a minute ago. And in order to figure out the missing piece, I need to separate the amount of prizes that she gave to Zach and that she kept for herself. So the problem we're doing is 93 minus 81. You always start in the ones place. 3 minus 1 equals 2. 90 minus 80 equals 10. 10 plus 2 equals 12. This means that Miss Burt gave 12 prizes away to Gemma. We could check our answer by adding 35 plus 12 plus 46 to make sure that that equals 93. I'll do that really quickly. I want to make sure that that's the right answer that we got. So here I'm checking my work. 30 plus 5, 10 plus 2, 40 plus 6. Okay. I know that 5 plus 6 is 11 plus 2 is 13. 30 plus 10 is 40 plus 40 is 80. I have a 10 that belongs in the tens place. So 80 plus 10 equals 90. And then we have a 3. I'm going to put it over here. 90 plus 3 equals 93. That means we definitely got the right answer for this multi-step word problem. All right, here's another multi-step word problem. I'm going to go a little slower on this one and let you try to find the answers a little bit without me this time, to try to help you become more independent in solving multi-step word problems. So again, I'm going to read the problem 2 times. The first time I read the problem, I want you to imagine what's going on in your mind. And then the second time I read the problem, we're going to organize our thoughts on a strip diagram, and then we're going to try to solve. So here we go. Sarah has 90 sheets of drawing paper. She has 34 pink, 41 purple, and the rest are green. How many sheets are green? Okay, hopefully in your mind you saw a little girl with a bunch, like maybe a box of drawing paper, and it's already separated into 3 categories for us, which is super helpful. I'm going to read it again, and after I read it the second time, we're going to fill in our strip diagram. And remember, the top is for the total number, and the bottom is for any parts that the problem has. Sarah has 90 sheets of drawing paper. She has 34 pink, 41 purple, and the rest are green. How many sheets are green? So step 1, how many parts, and do we know the whole? So guys, how many parts do you think this problem has? Just say it out loud. This problem has 3 parts. It has pink, purple, and green. And it lists it for you. Sometimes it's really nice. Word problems can have things that are listed, colors or flavors or categories, and that really does help you figure out the parts. So there are 34 pink pieces of paper, 41 purple pieces of paper, and the rest are green. So then the next question, do you know the whole? Do you know the total? Yes or no? Yes, you do. She started with 90 sheets. That's how many she has all together. So that's the total. Okay, this looks a lot like our last strip diagram. And this is why strip diagrams are so helpful, to help me keep track of the numbers and help me know what I should add and what I should subtract. Just like last time, we want to start by putting the parts we know together. I even tell my students you can imagine a little tiny plus sign in between any parts that you have in a strip diagram. So that's what we're going to do first. We're going to put the parts we know together, and that will give us a number to represent this whole section of the bottom of our strip diagram together. So let's go ahead and do that now. 34 plus 41. Okay, go ahead and set up your problem to look like mine. Or sometimes people like to draw it using a pictorial model. So you may draw a pictorial model that looks like this, and you may count those together. Either way is a really good strategy rooted in place value that will help you get the answer. So go ahead and set this up. I'm going to give you a second. I want you to try to solve and try to count it together without me. If you're using expanded form, we always start in the ones place. So 4 plus 1 equals 5. Good. Now we have to move on to the tens place. What's 30 plus 40? If you don't know that, I have a picture over here I can count. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So by counting my pictorial model, I figured out that that equals 70. And so now I have an answer. I have 75. But some kids get excited and they're like, oh, I did a problem and I got the answer. But what we figured out is, and I'm going to shade these 2 parts of the strip diagram. We figured out what these 2 parts together equal. That's what we did so far. It equals 75. We still don't know our question mark. We still don't know how many sheets are green. We found out 75 to help us do the last step. If I start with 90 and I take away this huge chunk that I just figured out, I will know whatever is left over. If I separate 75 from 90, I'll figure out how many are green. So that's what I have to do last. So I'm going to start with 90 plus 0 minus 70 plus 5. Okay, there's going to be regrouping. So I'm going to give you a minute. You have to start in the ones place. You have to go from the top to the bottom. You can't go upside down. So you're going to have to regroup to do this problem. If you drew a pictorial model, you're still going to have to regroup. because this is all you have, so you can't cross out 5 ones. So you're still going to have to trade in a rod for 10 units if you're doing a pictorial model. I'm going to give you a minute, and I want you to start trying to figure out the answer without me. Since we have to start in the ones place, you know that I can't do 0 take away 5. If I have 0 M&Ms, I can't give you 5 M&Ms. I'm going to have to get M&Ms from somewhere else. So I'm going to regroup this 90. I'm going to take a 10 away from the 90, and I'm going to move it to a different group. I'm going to regroup it to the ones place, and 10 plus 0 equals 10. So now I've moved the 10 from the tens place over to the ones place. So I still have 90. I still have 80 and 10. 80 and 10 together equal 90. But now it's a lot easier to do the math. 10 minus 5 equals 5. 80 minus 70 equals 10. 10 plus 5 equals 15. It looks like 15 of Sarah's papers are green. But I wanted to go ahead and just show you how to do this on the pictorial model as well. So I already regrouped a rod into 10 units. Now I need to cross out 75 from my picture. So I'm going to cross out 70, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. And I'm going to cross out 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 units left over, and I have 1 rod left over, which still equals 15. So even if I solved it with a pictorial model or expanded form, I'm still getting the same answer. All right, guys, so we did 2 examples of multi-step word problems today. This is when you have to do more than one thing to get your final answer. Some problems have more than 2 parts, and you have to know when you have a strip diagram if you should put the parts together or if you should separate things from the whole. You did really good today. Thank you so much for practicing multi-step word problems with me.
Thank you so much for joining me today on the Parents Math Tutor. Please leave a like and a subscribe. Tell others about our channel to help the channel grow so that everybody can have some free math tutoring. See you later. Bye.